Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the kvCORE Success Meetups, Tips, Tricks, and Open Q&A. My name is Kelly Bajarski. I am going to be your host, your trainer, presenter, moderator, everything all wrapped up in one today. I am just getting kind of settled in. I hope you guys do the same. Grab your beverage of choice or open up your laptop if you want to follow along on your kvCORE. I'm kind of excited about this session today because it's one that's kind of near and dear to my heart. It has a lot of best practices built into it. And the topic for today is the top 10 things to do if you're new to the kvCORE platform. So I do have the chat open. If you have any questions, feel free to pop those in there. Make sure that you are addressing them to everyone so that everybody gets the benefit of your question. You can use the Q&A as well. I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on the Q&A. Sometimes I don't see those notifications right out of the gate. I'll do my best. This is a recorded session, and we will be putting it up on our YouTube playlist. If you have not seen our playlist, if you've never accessed that before, please find us on YouTube at the InsideRealEstate.com channel. Just look for us for the kvCORE Success Meetups, Tips, Tricks, and Open Q&A. I will also be providing a handout today of basically the outline with some additional resources and some content and some links to some of my favorite articles to give you a little bit more information about some of these top 10 recommended things to do if you're new to kvCORE. So I'll pop that in the chat here, the webinar chat. And if you're watching this replay on the YouTube channel, make sure you check out the description section in the area below. Comment, like, ring that bell, all that good stuff. And you'll see a link to the document I'm going to provide at the end of the webinar. Now, before I get started on my laundry list of things that I'm going to talk about with this top 10 list, this is also an open Q&A, and I really encourage you to participate by asking questions. I'll take them as in the order that they come through chat. That's probably the best way to put them out there is in chat because I've got that open right now. And I see we have lots of folks in here. Let me just do a quick temperature check before we get started. I see a few familiar faces, which is great. Thanks for coming back if you've been on one of these sessions before. But if you haven't, if you have not attended a success meetup before, find that reactions button on your Zoom control and raise your hand. Let's see, I want to see how many new people are here today. If you've never joined us before. Okay, I see one or two people. I see Erica joining us today. Thanks for being here, Erica. I appreciate it. Jerry Slater, thanks so much for being here. Since you've never been here before, and if you like what you see, like what you hear, and you want to register and come back, feel free to scan that QR code with your phone while you're waiting, and you can sign up and register for any of our upcoming sessions as well. Holiday seasons are upon us. I know everybody's busy, so I appreciate the fact that you've taken some time out in your day, your busy schedules, to join us to learn a little bit more about the kvCORE platform. All right. This is also open Q&A, so I'm not going to take the entire session to go over my top 10 list, but I'll probably move through them pretty quickly, which is why I am providing you with this helpful download. So I'm going to actually go ahead and just give this to you. So if any of you want to actually follow along on the sheet, I did just pop it into chat. Now it is going to prompt you to make a copy of it for your very own, so that you can edit it and make any changes. So make sure that you copy it and don't, we don't want you writing in on notes on my copy, but feel free to use this on if we have any brokers or admins, feel free to share this with your agents as well so they can make a copy of it. All right, that's my housekeeping. If anybody has any questions, feel free to pop those in chat. So top 10 things to do. You know, I think if I were to ask everyone here what their own personal experiences would be in getting started with kvCORE as their primary CRM, I would be curious to see how aligned it is with what my top 10 is. And by no means is mine an exclusive list. Feel free to add in your own recommendations and best practices. but in the I don't know, 7 or 8 years that I have been training on kvCORE, I I really dug deep and wanted to provide you with what seem to be consistently frequently asked questions or um, uh, request best practices for those folks that are new to the platform. Anybody new to kvCORE, just getting started? Show me some hands if you're just getting started with kvCORE. Oh, I see a couple hands going up. Okay, so this will be really particularly helpful for you. And for those of you that are veterans or have been using kvCORE for a while, I encourage you to add your feedback and your wisdom in the chat. Let everybody benefit from your experience as well. Okay, so I broke our top 10 list into 3 simple parts. One is outreach communication best practices, because let's face it, the primary reason you're using a CRM is to manage your database, right? Regardless of how many people are in there, in order to make sure that you are providing the best possible customer service to your prospects, new leads, active leads, your sphere of influence, even vendors that you may come in contact with to develop those community partnerships. It all starts with communication, right? That's the best use of a CRM as a customer relationship management tool. So we're going to walk through some ways to some suggestions for some personalized introductions. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about developing your own local niche or area and how you can promote that using some of the tools to market to them. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about basic organization tips. And these are just kind of anything from time management to just some pro tips using the contact record. So we'll start from the top and work our way down 1 through 10. Number 1 on our list for outreach communication best practices is to personalize your introductions. What do I mean by that? Well, when we're talking about your initial outreach, that first conversation that you have with somebody who is in your database, especially those new leads that come in online, because let's face it, you don't know them. They're friends you haven't met yet, clients you haven't earned their business with yet. You need to leverage as many tools as you can to personalize that initial outreach. And I will tell you, a little pro tip that I have here is to use merge tags. Merge tags are a great way to personalize your outbound emails and even text messages. You can use merge tags in both emails and text messages. So if I were to go into let's say Katie right here, Katie is in my database, and I wanted to send an email. You'll see right here, if I'm creating this email from scratch, dear Katie, oops, if I spell her name right, dear Katie, right? And then I'm off to the races with my content. If I wanted to do this as a one-off, I'm probably just going to write her name here. But if I'm building a template that I'm going to use, because it's going to be part of an initial, maybe a smart campaign that I'm building out, or if it's going to be part of a template that I'm going to use over and over again, you're going to want to build that into a template. And those are available in the marketing section under your smart campaigns. That's where the template builders are. You can always go into a smart campaign and make some changes here, or you can use this little tab right here and go to the templates and add an email, a text template, a call reminder. We're going to focus on just emails and texts. So for merge tags, see this little starburst? And by the way, doesn't this look exactly like the email that we started building in the contact record? It should, but that's only a single use email. This is a template. We want to build and add an email template. Well, this little starburst right here allows you to embed in here actual merge tags. So rather than just saying, dear Katie, if I'm going to use this over and over again, I'm going to use a merge tag to say, dear lead first name. It's those fancy brackets. And then I'm going to build out this template so I can use this time and time again. And once I've named that template, Kelly's first initial outreach, and built out the subject line that's going to show up in the email. By the way, pro tip, you can actually use these merge tags right up here, copy it, and put it in the subject line. How cool is that? Then it's going to pull in their first name in the subject line. That's going to be visually more impacting. So that little starburst right here is where you can go ahead and add merge tags. Now in the text template, if you go into a text template, you don't see that whole list of editing options here, but you can still add merge tags, and it's shift and that little fancy bracket. So that little fancy bracket that I showed you for first name, that's how you build it into a text message as well. So in the text templates, it's shift and that fancy little bracket, and then go find the merge tag you want to use. Maybe lead first name and last name. You want to put that in there. That will build a merge tag in to personalize your initial outreach. Send them market reports. Send them things of high value content. Use the listing section to find other properties of interest. That's what POI is. Their property of interest. If they came in looking at a property, let's go to my kvCORE dashboard. I get a new lead. I'm notified that I have a new lead. That new lead even shows up right here on my activity stream, that news feed that provides some insight into local activity on my website. I could go into this news feed, for example, here, Riley Bajarski. If Riley Bajarski was looking at this particular house, I can go in as part of my original initial outreach. I can click on that listing, and what's going to happen is it's going to open it up in the listings tab. It's just moved me right into the listings page where all my listings live. And now I can do some quick homework and really look like a rock star when I send out an outreach message, a text or an email. And I can do things like look for similar listings or nearby listings, properties that are nearby. I don't have to do a lot of legwork on this, but I could click on any one of these similar listings if there were any. Apparently there aren't any. Inventory is low, everybody, right? Or I could find nearby listings. Usually there's some here. And I could include those in my outbound contacts or communications. Diane asks, how can I make a template to add disclosures to open houses? That's kind of a different topic if you are trying to distribute links and add content that way. I would probably, Diane, use the advanced email editor when you're creating that content rather than the basic email. Oh, I don't want to add a campaign. Let's go back to the email templates. I would probably use an email template, but rather than using this basic email editor, which you could just link over using a hyperlink here, right? You can go in and you can use the advanced email editor, and you could add a button with a link over to where those disclosures are stored in a drive somewhere. You could do that. I have to add it to the Open House app. Oh, you want it to be something that's sent out in your original, if you want it sent out upon registration when they're registering. Is that what you want, Diane? Feel free to expound on that a little bit. I'll come back to it. At this time, there's no way to add that as an additional content on the app. That would be a great feature request. If you want to add that, send that over to our engineers. You can send that in through a feature request right here. What you could do is you could add it into an email template and then build that into your smart campaign so that when that open house smart campaign is triggered, there's an email template that delivers that content through that email. And that can trigger automatically when they've signed up through the Open House app. So that might be your solution for now. But currently, you can't actually build it into the app. It'd have to be part of the follow-up, which would be a smart campaign. There you go. Good question, though. Okay. Number 2, timely follow-ups. Set task reminders for timely follow-ups, especially after that initial contact. The easiest way to do that, honestly, folks, is to use what's already built. That's the smart campaigns. Those smart campaigns already have task reminders built into them. So make sure that you're leveraging the smart campaigns because they have those task reminders built right in. Now, if you're more of a person who's a little bit more hands-on and you want to really take control of scheduling tasks and even scheduling calls, let me give you this pro tip. In your contact record, let's go find Riley Bojarski, that my test lead there. I'll go down here and find him because he was right here. There he is. So right here, excuse me, folks, in the, oh shoot, he doesn't have a phone number added. Well, let's see what we can find here. Let's go into my database and find my favorite test lead, Billy Madison. I am a huge Adam Sandler fan, so hence my Billy Madison test lead that I've got here. There we go. Okay, so if I open up Billy Madison here, okay, here is a great pro tip for follow-ups, especially if you want to build in those task reminders right here as part of your process. I mean, you can always go in and add a task right in the contact records. You can build out a new task right here, set yourself up with a task reminder. But what if I'm talking to Billy on the phone and I'm using the calls through kvCORE, and I call him using the smart number? I can click call now, and it's going to start, the smart number is going to call my phone. And then when I answer, it's going to connect me with Billy Madison, and I'm off to the races. But you can also schedule future phone calls. So let's say I want to make, maybe I get a ton of referrals from Billy Madison, and I want to make sure that I am staying top of mind with this guy. I would go in here and I would add notes, remember to call this person every, once a quarter, once every 3 months, however you want to do that. And you can go ahead and even schedule repeat calls. You don't need a whole smart campaign to do it. You don't need to build out, 7 different task reminders. You can simply use the repeat calls button down here and say, hey, I want to make sure that he doesn't slip through the cracks because I got to ask this guy for referrals every couple of months. So I want 6 phone calls scheduled within, over the course of the next 6 months. And I'm going to click that schedule call button. And then every month or so, I'm going to get a call reminder on my daily calls list that reminds me to call Billy Madison. How cool is that? I just built it in right through, as part of my workflow process. So there's a lot of little hidden nuggets in there when you're scheduling calls to have timely follow-ups, whether it's a task reminder, whether it's a call reminder, whatever works for you. Lots of different ways to accomplish that. Use multiple communication channels. It's not a one size fits all. Some people don't like to be texted. Some people don't like to have phone calls. Some people would rather just communicate through a video message. Who knows? I mean, try Core Video if you have not had a chance to do that. Every single person gets the free, I call it the freemium version, right? It's not the premium one that you pay for. It's called the freemium version, which means you get 10 free single-use Core videos every single month to try it out. And what I mean by that is Core Video is our partnership with BombBomb. Okay, so you can actually send messages with video content directly through your calls, texts, emails, smart campaigns. Video personalizes your outbound communications and really increases your engagement tremendously because people are used to videos. So if you want to try it out, go into your contact record. If you want to try the freemium version, it only works in an email. So you can use it in a single-use email. You can't build it into your smart campaigns or your text messages unless you upgrade to the paid version. But if you want to just try it, go into sending an email, say to Billy Madison, and then go down here to, where is my, where did it go? They move it or video. Sorry, guys, I've got too many things clouding up my, maybe it's just over here. Hang on. There it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. So go into your Core Video. I lied. Don't go into your emails. Go into your Core Video. And if you want to upgrade, you can. It's actually very competitive, if not a little bit cheaper to purchase it through us. But anyway, so you can send it as an email, and you can actually connect to your recorder on your laptop or your device, and you can create that message right here and send it off to them, and then put a message down in here below, and then it'll get sent as part of your email, which is kind of cool. So I always say use video when you can. Number 4, use hashtags or save filters to create your own to-do lists. Like, that is exactly what a CRM is all about, right? Having a list of daily reasons to come in and work your to-do lists, right? So that's exactly what those hashtags do, is that they allow you to create your own to-do lists. So how do you do that? Well, you can either use a save filter or a hashtag. I personally like the save filters because it really allows me to dial into the targeted group that I specifically want to focus on. So an example of that might be if I go to my Smart CRM. By the way, when you save a filter, some other cool things result in save filters. One, you can pin them to the top of your CRM so that you have like a quick link for them. So if on Tuesdays I want to call every seller in my database, potential seller, I can create a save filter and then just easily click on this link and it'll always dynamically update based on the filters that I've set. And then I can just start using, calling through here. If you also have a save filter, they show up as lists on your mobile app. So it makes it really convenient to have those to-do lists or those call lists available on your mobile app that you've created. And you can simply use the filters that are right here to define your own group. So for example, if I want to make sure that I call every single person in my database that has been active on my website in the last 30 days, that's a great to-do list. I would come in and I could work that list every single week, right? Maybe that's what I set up on Tuesdays. I'm going to call everybody who's been active on my website in the last 30 days every single Tuesday. Well, you could narrow it down even further and just say, you know what, only show me my new leads and my active leads and my prospects that have been active on my website in the last 30 days. So I can further define based on their things like their behavior. So I could go in here and I could even say last active in the last month or this month. And rather than applying the filters one time, I would want to save that filter. And I would want to save the filter using a name like maybe, oh, sorry, there's my password protection thing. Sorry, get rid of that. Maybe I call it something like my active list, my active list to call on Tuesdays. Give myself some real accountability there. And if I pin it to the top and save that filter, pin it to the top and save it, now I don't have to recreate that filter every single time I come in on Tuesdays. It's right here on my list. Now it's also going to always live in your filter section right here in the settings section of your filters. You can always go in here and find it. So all of the lists I've created my save filters show up here. And if you're ever like, oh, I need to change that, that's not a great list, you could just come in here into this gear icon and you can manage and delete them. Or you don't even have to display it. Maybe it's not a list that you want to display up on the top. You can actually turn off the display. So if I wanted to turn that off without deleting it, it doesn't deactivate it. It just removes it from view up here at the top. But the other cool thing is they show up on your mobile apps and they also show up in your marketing section. So if you wanted to create a save filter, maybe you have a newsletter list that you're creating and you want everybody in your sphere that is hashtagged newsletter. So I'm going to use a hashtag to do this. Newsletter, you'd have to create newsletter and start using that hashtag. And then you saved that as a filter, right? Just call this my SOI, Sphere of Influence newsletter list. And if I save this filter, now if I want to go and create that newsletter and send it out in a scheduled mass email, I'm going to go into marketing, into where the scheduled mass emails are. And I'm going to, oh shoot, we just updated some terms here. Then I'm going to use that as an opportunity to send it out to that targeted list, because one of the options you have is to choose to send it to your save filters. Okay. All right. So that's another thing you can do. Now, marketing to your local niche. Number 5. The key here is giving hyper-local content creation. And what do I mean by that? That's things that you can provide that set you aside and apart from your competitors. You know, being known as that local realtor that knows all the information about, the schools in the area, or where it is to get the best pizza, who has the best Taco Tuesday night, what are some trends you're seeing in new home development, what does the real estate market look like? All of that is really great hyper-local content, and you should be sharing it as part of your as part of your contact relationship management. And here's some really great ways that you can share that out. You can share it out by using our blog tool. You could create a custom page that devotes all that information about free things to do this holiday season, and create a custom page. Now, each one of these that I've already linked here are going to be links over to exactly how you can create a blog, or how you can create a custom page, or use a landing page to drive new leads to that custom page that has that content. Create custom widgets on your website. One of the things I love about our websites is that you can actually do some personalization to them. And one of the areas you might want to personalize that gives you the appearance of being that hyper local agent is on your featured your widgets. And what a widget, for those of you that are not super, website techie, it's just simply a section of your website. And that's how our websites are designed. Each little area here, each little section is a widget. And some of the widgets you can change, some of them you may not be able to, depends on what type of your brokerage may be providing a more custom website for you. But if you have featured widgets that are part of your featured areas, you can go in and change what the photo looks like and even the name of it. So you can create your own local niche here. So when somebody lands on your homepage, they are taken right to some of those local areas. And so this is a great opportunity for you to customize those widgets and really narrow down to that hyper local content. Use core video. Again, video, I've said it before, video sells. Create newsletters. If it's too much for you, if that's just too much to take on, guess what, folks? We even have a service called Done For You Services that will help you with your newsletters every single month. So that's something you might want to explore. Number 6, build out local partnerships. Collaborate with those local people, the businesses, schools, communities, organizations, your charity of choice. Some pro tips: add a lender. If you want to align yourself and do some co-branded marketing, you can actually have a lender that you collaborate with. And all you need to do is, if you're not an admin, you're not going to be able to add that lender into kvCORE. So go to your admin or your team admin to ensure that your preferred lender is able to be added in as a lender. And then once your admin has added them, you can go to your profile under My Profile. There's My Profile. And when you make your editing changes here in Edit Your Profile, you can go down here and you can choose one of the preferred lenders that your admin has added. So if I wanted to add, I think Lucy Lender is my new preferred lender, I can do that here. And what will happen is then I can share my leads with Lucy. We could do some co-branded marketing. Maybe Lucy pays for the leads and we work them together. Who knows? You can do all sorts of great things here. And it also gives them a little bit of real estate on your website. And what I mean by that is that up at the top, in your financing section, I rename mine for the holidays, but you'll have a financing tab that appears that takes that lender content information and adds it here. Your lender even gets a link over to their website if they add that information, and a bio section. So they actually get some prime real estate on your website as well. That helps with RESPA compliancy. Make sure that you're blogging about those local and community events. Those are really great ways to, shine and showcase those partnerships. Part 3, number 7, basic organization tips. Remember that, even some of the simplest things that you do will make all the difference in the long run. So start developing those best practices. Really, the number one best practice is to log into your platform. I personally log in every day. It's like checking my email. It's like checking my social media. I check my kvCORE and make sure that I'm doing something in there. Even if it's something as simple as just checking the activity stream. Just, you're going to get notifications when your leads do interesting things on some of these things on, like new lead notifications. But this is a great area to just see who's been active on your website recently. And you can just get to the most important things first. So use this as an opportunity to maintain and update your data entry practices. Things like making sure you've got your notes updated. Are you adding relevant information? Just simple things like their spouse's information, the name of their kids, uh, common common hobbies that you may have. Just things that are going to be important to you, because I tell you what, I cannot remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So if I have to call you 6 months from now and be expected to remember the name of your dog, and that's really important to you, that you have a big enough backyard for Fido to run around in when we buy your new home, I'm going to forget that. I got to write that stuff down. So taking good notes in your CRM is extremely important. So if I'm talking to Megan here and she tells me I need a big backyard for my dog to run around in, I'm going to make sure that I add that as a note. If I think it's something really important that Lucy the lender needs to know about, guess what? I can CC Lucy my preferred lender right from here, and it'll send a notification to them. What a great way to make sure none of those communications slip through the gaps. Number 8, download the mobile apps. If you have not downloaded the kvCORE mobile app or the Core Open House app, you are not fully leveraging the power of kvCORE, okay? So you can go in to your platform. Now, you might be able to find the kvCORE apps through the App Store and Google Play, but I really personally recommend that you go in to your dashboard and download it right from the dashboard page. Go to download mobile apps, because these are going to be synced directly to you, and you can download it from here. Make sure that you go in here and download it this way. Diane says, so I'm having a hard time with the Open House app because it's half electronic and half paper. I'm not quite sure what that means. It's hard to explain to the clients that they now have to use a pen and paper after they electronically sign the disclosures. Gosh, you know what, Diane, I'm not sure what we may have to explore that during the open Q&A. Give me another 10 minutes and we'll come back and I'll turn on your microphone and we can chat more about that. Let me go back and look at some of the questions that have come in. Will we get a copy of this via email? No, Ray, I don't send them out via email because this is a general session for everybody. So if you want to rewatch this recording, you're going to want to go to our YouTube channel and find it on our playlist under Inside Real Estate. Okay. So make sure, and I'll also put the downloadable link for that handout that I put in there in the description as well. Are you able to delete the tile communications if you answered it in your normal email client? Aldo, are you referring to this information down here in the activity stream? Is that what you mean by that? Are you able to delete the tile communications? We call these activity tiles. Is that what you're talking about? No, you don't delete them. Think of this as like your social media feed, like on your Facebook feed. It's really for you to stay visually connected to the activity. It's not part of the task management. It stays in chronological order. Now you can sort in different ways. So you can go in here and like, oh, you know what? I only want to see information with people who sent new texts. There's even a tab here for you to sort by what the system considers your leads that are starting to show signs of intent by showcasing hot leads. And you can also sort by different activity tiles this way. But no, to answer your question, you cannot delete them because that's not really the purpose of it. It's more like your social media feeds that you see on those types of apps. It just consistently stays updated with the most current. Okay. Can you schedule newsletters? Yes, Kim. You're going to schedule those newsletters in the marketing section under scheduled mass emails right here. And I did put that in my outline for those that you may have popped in late. I'm giving everybody the outline today so you can go in and anything that is in blue that has a hyperlink to it has a supporting reference to it or a resource article that'll show you how to do that. So you can find that information there. Okay, we have problems with the Open House app due to no internet at all the open houses. Hey, you know what, Ray? That's okay. Do not worry about that. You should be able to use the Open House app without internet. What you're going to need to do is set it up first, set up the open house in your office or your house, wherever there's Wi-Fi first, And you will still be able to use it without Wi-Fi, because when you get back to where there is Wi-Fi, you can then sync it directly through there. So that's in the open house article right here. So make sure you explore that. If it doesn't work, that's a different issue. That might be a bug. So make sure you reach out to support if that's not happening for you, because we want to make sure that you're able to do that. I know, right? That's one of my favorite things, because Lord knows I don't know the Wi-Fi password for where I'm going, and I'm still figuring out how to use the hotspot on my phone. So I hear you. No, I love that you don't need a Wi-Fi for that. Number 9, regular data cleanup. Oh my goodness. You know what? It's that time of the year. I would be remiss if I didn't remind everybody to go in and schedule some regular cleanup sessions to do things like just merging duplicates or update outdated information, just to make sure that your data integrity is in store. You know, you can merge and combine your contacts together. So maybe you happen to have 2 contacts that are have two different contacts because they have 2 different primary email addresses. That will create 2 different contacts. So if I look up like Billy Madison, my favorite test lead, and I see that he's in here twice, I can go in to, after a slight dramatic pause, see he's in here twice. He's probably signed up once with his work email and once with his personal email. So if I want to do some data cleanup, I can come in here and I can go to more actions, and I can actually merge my contacts together. Find that other Billy Madison and merge them. Little pro tip though, if you're merging a contact and that one of those contacts was generated maybe at the company level and assigned to you to work, or maybe at the team level and it was assigned to you to work, and you try to merge them together, what's going to happen is you will not retain ownership of that lead anymore, because you cannot take ownership from somebody else's lead. Okay. So if it's owned by the team or if it's owned by your company, then you might be in essence giving away the ownership of that lead. And when I say ownership, it's really a system, a system reference, right? So I can see here, this is the kvCORE training team. This one's owned by them. It was probably generated by my team for me, and it got assigned to me. So just keep that in mind. There's more information about that in how to merge and combine your contacts. If you have questions, just reach out to support. And then finally, set some goals. This is that time of the year. Break out your vision boards, break out your new calendar for 2024. Start setting some goals and monitoring them. Set some measurable goals. That SMART analogy still holds true today. Goals need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to what your overall purpose is, and time-based. You need to be smart about your goal setting. Now, as you're starting to evaluate what those goals are for this upcoming year, it is important to look back and to use what tools you have available to analyze how far you've come. So things like, am I getting the most bang for my buck by investing all my dollars in this third-party marketing? Well, you can go to the business analytics right here in business analytics, and you can run a source performance report. And in that source performance report, you can identify not only from that source or by hashtag how many leads you generated, because that's always important to know too, but more importantly, how many of them converted, because these are all those statuses that we use. And it's one thing to see that you're getting, maybe 100 or 200 or 500 people that come in directly to your website, or come in through MailChimp, or come in through Zillow, or some other source of third-party marketing that you have. But if you're not converting them to get any of them under into the client status or under contract, or best case scenario, you're not closing those deals, you might have to evaluate some decisions about what maybe your practices are, or that source altogether. So you can use that information. The other thing I like to use is my consumer interest tab, because as you start driving more and more traffic to your website, people are searching with you, people are engaging with you, people are looking at properties. One of my favorite places to look is at the top properties in the last 30 days, because you can see what has been the top property people have looked at. That's a hot property to me. Hopefully it's mine, but if not, at least I know there's some interest in here. So I can keep my eye on that. I can look and see what's like the most popular in the last 30 days. This is really insightful because it tells me what are the areas, the neighborhoods that people are looking in when they're searching on my website. Looks like North Escondido is like the top neighborhood on my website right now. Here's the top zip code. Here's the top 10 price ranges, the price points that people are looking at, and the areas. This is really important information for you to be evaluating. So that's all available in the business analytics. So make sure you're using those. Now, again, as I mentioned earlier, this is not by any means an exclusive list. Feel free to add your own top 10 to your own sheet. Make sure that you are updating and reviewing this over time, because everybody has their own success stories. I'd love to hear them from you. So if you have any some tips, please feel free to share that. Okay, I'm going to switch gears now, and I'm going to go to Q&A mode. So let's take a look and see what some of the questions are. If I created a template with a PNG image, and then I want to send a mass email, how can I personalize with a first name of the contact? That is the merge tags. And as I mentioned that before, when you're creating a template and you want to personalize, that information, you're going to start in the marketing section. Where is this at? Here we go. It's up at the top. There it is. You're going to start in the marketing section, go to your smart campaigns, start with your templates, and then build out your email or text. Either one of them can use merge tags. And you're in an email, you're going to use this little starburst button to find the merge tag you want to use. So there's your lead first name, last name. You've got all sorts of merge tags to choose from. And if you want to do it in a text message, you're going to go to the text template. And when you create that text template that you're going to use over and over again, you're going to use the shift key on your keyboard. And hang on one second. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to sneeze right in the microphone. You're going to use shift, and then on your keyboard, if you're looking at your keyboard right now, directly to the right of the letter P like Paul, I call it the fancy bracket. When you hit that fancy bracket, it's going to pull up all of the text merge tags that are available. So it's that little fancy bracket that's right there. Shift and that fancy bracket. That's how you are going to send those. Okay, question from Angela. Is it possible to get a copy of the instructions you're going over? Oh, yeah, Angela, just let me know in the chat if you did not get it. I will provide it one more time. I know some people might have come in a little later, or maybe you were multitasking. Now I'm giving you it in copy version. I don't want you making changes to mine. So when you open it, it's going to be a Google document. You're going to have to make a copy of it. So, but once you do that, you can make edits to it as you need to. You can take notes. So there you go. Can you please show how to create a squeeze page for a coming soon property not yet listed? Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, let me walk through a couple of ideas here. So if you want to create a page for a property that's not listed, it's not available in the squeeze page builder. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Okay, you're not going to be able to go to the lead engine, and you're not going to be able to create an IDX squeeze page. Why? Because that property is not on the MLS, and that's where we're pulling this from. But what you can do is you can go to the listing section, listings, and you can build out a manual listing right here. You can add a manual listing. You can build you can add that listing right here. Just go through this wizard-like experience to update your photos, property details, all that stuff. And once you do, let's see if I've got one in here in my manual listings. I thought I had one. Hang on, guys. I thought I had one in here. Well, I guess we'll just pull up this one. Then once you have one, you will have this listing overview section, and you can use the direct link right here from that. Now, if you wanted to use this, and it's going to direct people back to this page on your website for this listing. All right. So you can use this as it's almost an identical listings page as any other listings. You're just building it out on yours. And you can even have it set to trigger to active once it goes live on the MLS. So there's, you're building a manual listing first. So you're going to want to do that. And that's how you would do it. That's how you'd be able to build that link in there. Hopefully that answers your question. How can you edit the word in the birthday and anniversary automated emails? I don't have an edit button. Oh, well, you know what? Hang on. Let me show you where you can edit those. In the marketing section, if you are going to your birthdays and anniversaries, right here, we already pre-built out templates for you. And if you want to see what it looks like, you can go in here to change template. And it'll pull up the email template that we already have. This is our template. And the name of the template is called the Happy Birthday email. It's the one that we provide for you. In order for you to change out the photo, or in order for you to change out the content or the text, you'd have to replace it with your own template. Okay. So you're really just swapping out the templates that here. So as I've showed you guys before, in order to do that first, you would go to the marketing section to where your smart campaigns are, and you're going to go to your templates, add that email template. You do the same thing with your text. Now, that template that I just showed you with the birthday cake on it, it was not built in this basic template version. It was done in the advanced email editor. And so you would switch to this if you want to change out and add like fun, fancy photos. Maybe you want to add some buttons or some, make it look a little bit more spruced up. This is where I go to make all of my newsletters and stuff. Now, you probably don't have time to go into how to use the advanced email editor, but that's okay because we actually have an entire course, support and training, learning portal. You can also get to the learning portal from your dashboard page, by the way. Dashboard, learning portal takes you to the same place. In your learning portal, find the course called Advanced Email Editor. Okay, you're going to find that course. It takes you about 15 minutes to get through. It's not that hard. Where is it at? There it is. And I would highly suggest taking this course if you want to learn how to really leverage and utilize some of those additional tools, but it's mostly a building block style type content creator. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, you can, Kim, you can 100% clone that happy birthday template and then change the wording. So if you like the photo, if you like the wording, the only thing you want to do is maybe change one or two things in the text, then I'd 100% just clone it. Yeah, go find it in the template library. You just need to find the, use the name of it when you're searching for it in marketing and smart campaigns and templates. Make sure you're in the email template and then look up that happy birthday. There it is. And that's exactly what you would do, Kim. You would clone it first. There's your birthday template after a slight but dramatic pause. There it is. Now you can edit it and make all of your changes. So, ta-da! That was a good one. Okay. Are you able to open some contacts and not others in the Smart CRM? Aldo, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Do you mean, are you able to open some but not others? I'm able to open some but not others because I'm an office admin and there's lead privacy enabled on my account. And lead privacy is a really great concept in kvCORE because what that means is even though I'm the office admin for my little demo brokerage here, some leads that my agents are working are considered private to me, which means the company does not own them. We are not entitled or have access to open them. It's actually owned by the agent or maybe even that team. So if I scroll over here to the side, you can see why. It is owned by Christina and it's assigned to her as well. So you can see here that any leads that I do not have access to are private leads. So to your question, whether I can, yep, that's exactly what it is. These are my leads that I entered. Oh, Aldo, I am not sure why you would not be able to own. The only reason you wouldn't be able to open them is if they're private. Are you just seeing that you're not able to click on their name and be able to access that person? Oh, that sounds like a bug to me. I would take an example of one that you can't have access to and send it into our support team and have them take a deep dive into it. Have them take a look at it. Send a paste a photo of it or send the name of that person so that they can have some information to track it down, and because that doesn't sound like it's working the way it's intended to. Thanks, Aldo. Good question though. Okay, I think I got through all the questions. If I didn't, just put in a quick chat in the webinar chat. See if there's another one. Here's another one. Okay. What do you suggest I do if my broker creates a newsletter and I want to incorporate that one into my hyper-local newsletter? I would then like those emails to be scheduled and sent, looking to automate as much as possible, as you should, Kim. Yes, your brokerage can create newsletters. For example, because I'm an office admin, if I went into the marketing section, which I've gone to before, you guys should know by now, I'm going to go to the smart campaigns. As an office admin, I have rights and privileges to create content as templates for my entire office, as long as I scope it correctly. So if you happen to be an admin here and you're thinking about starting up a newsletter that your agents can use, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the right scope. And as a best practice, what I typically do while I'm creating them is I will start building them under my own scope. This is because I'm an office admin. As an agent, this doesn't really apply to you, but I'll build it as a template so that it lives in my own personal Kelly Bajarski library. I know it doesn't look too different, but it actually is because my scope is listed as an agent. And then I would clone it when I'm ready to share it with everybody, and I would change the template to a higher level scope. But if I went into, let's see, one of my kvCORE teams, see if it's in here, kvCORE training team. I should be more specific. There it is. So if I wanted to build a newsletter and I created it as a template under the training team scope, when I add this email template as a newsletter, what's going to happen, Kim, is it's going to be automatically waterfall. It will distribute down so that it appears in the template library of all of my agents. And then they can choose that as their scheduled mass email, choose that in their newsletters to send out. So just as an FYI. Okay. That helps. Yes, but I need to add to it. Oh, well, then you would have to clone it. But you would have to clone it like we did, Kim, with the other one, just the same way you cloned the birthday one. You'd have to clone it and make a copy of your own because you're given like a view only type template to use. And if you want to personalize the one that your office is sending you, yes. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, I think that is it, I believe, unless we have any other questions come in. I will share this out with you one last time, just in case somebody missed it. Hang on one second. And then I'm going to let you all go so you can go back to selling houses. All right. Kim, you might want to reach out to our Done For You services if you're struggling with that or with support. I don't know of any other workaround because you're being given the template and it's not owned by you. So you can only change templates that you own. So that's why you'd have to have them at your scope. But if you're going to make the editing changes to it anyway, I'm not sure if that's too much of a problem. Maybe I'm missing something, but. All right, well, I always ask this at the end of my webinars, just for a quick show of hands. How many of you learned something new today? Something that you can use in your business today? Oh, I'm so happy to see a couple of hands go up. That makes me very happy. If you liked what you learned today and you want to come back again, as a quick reminder, please be sure to scan this QR code and sign up for another future weekly session. You can also access the signups for the registration for any future events right here in our training calendar. And unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you guys so much for being here on my webinar. I hope you have a wonderful and amazing holiday season. Have a great day. Now hop off here and go sell a house. Bye, everybody.